Hello everyone, my name is Maria Shandorova and I am Head of Product Development at Inphinity. It's my honor to record this video for you and tell you something more about this revolution we are bringing to data analytics by bringing the process intelligence into your Qlik Sense. Inphinity Flow is a process visualization extension. Why have we decided to develop it? We generate tons of data every single day. Data is generated because there is some task or activity that's in progress or already finished. And naturally, when we do something, we are doing it with a goal in mind. So we can say that all actions or activities and tasks are part of processes in a company. It can be internal processes or external processes, but in the end, it's all about processes. On the other hand, when we analyze data, we can have so many Qlik Sense applications, sheet visualizations, and so on. But we are so focused only a subset of data that we are missing the whole context of the process. Inphinity Flow brings this possibility to see the bigger picture, to understand all these KPIs and measures in context of the processes to everyone. Understanding processes is a crucial part of data literacy. If you don't understand your processes, how can you say where the data came from or who is responsible for this specific step of data processing? Or in the end, why am I doing what I'm doing right now? We know there already are process mining tools in the market, but they are expensive and complex. And what you are paying for is that they will run all these algorithms upon change logs, metadata, and tons of data. And they uncover the process for you. They will tell you that, okay, it looks like in your company, this is your processes and you should optimize it. However, in reality, there very often is a person who knows the process. I'm pretty sure there are many people in your company who can say they know how these processes look like. They just aren't officially defined and visualized. And this is what is missing. A simple, easy-to-be-used tool for these users to visualize processes they know about, link it to already generated KPIs and measures, share it with everyone in the team, understand the processes, and optimize it. Save time, save money, minimize human errors, and be focused on the core business of a company. After we have released Infinity Forms as the Brightbig extension for the Qlik Sense, many of you were asking us whether they can use it for workflows. And naturally, thanks to the Brightbig extension, thanks to the Infinity Forms, you can do workflows directly in your Qlik Sense environment. And that can be very helpful. What Infinity Flow as process visualization extension brings to it is that you can visualize this process for everyone who is a part of it. They can open the application and see where in the process, in which step they currently are, what were previous steps, where this data came from, what are next steps, if I miss the deadline, who will be the people waiting for my outputs, and so on. And that's exactly the context that is a king, and Infinity Flow brings it to you right now. In general, Infinity Flow transforms business intelligence to process intelligence by giving you the tool to model, to visualize the processes, connect it to currently generated KPIs and measures, identify bottlenecks, optimize processes, and automate if it makes sense. This revolutionary approach, this process intelligence approach, is relevant for every single company. There are so many use cases where understanding processes will significantly help you. My favorite use case, because the process is directly linked to saving money, is support tickets. In my Qlik Sense application, I have the full information about a specific ticket, how it was processed up to now, what will be next steps, and once I connect it together with data about possible penalties, when some limits aren't met, I can easily calculate the current penalties I should be worried about. Why to visualize only one process in a company if there are so many processes? You can build a managerial overview for identification bottlenecks and issues across the company in a few clicks. In this specific dashboard, the manager can select a specific department or area inside a company. Then the related process is visualized in the step 2, and I can identify the bottlenecks, the specific steps of the process at the first sight, because Infinity Flow is telling me where the problem is. And once I select this specific step, naturally, since we are in a Qlik Sense, all data, all measures can be recalculated and shown only those KPIs and measures related to the specific step of a specific process that's relevant for a specific department in a company. And all this you can have in one sheet. Naturally, there are many use cases related to specific industries, like, for example, healthcare and the patient management. I also like this use case because probably everyone went through it, if not as a doctor, then as a patient. So it's easy to understand where the added value in optimization of patient flow truly is. And you can be creative. Why to use Infinity Flow only for process visualization? You can use it also for hierarchies instead. And together with the Redback extension, Infinity Forms, you can have a tool for ad hoc updates of your internal hierarchy. Thanks to it, you can build a single source of truth for everyone inside your company, where they can find up-to-date information about responsibilities, about departments, about the corporate hierarchy and all. And I can continue for hours and hours, but I'm not sure you will continue watching. So the last thing I want to say about this process intelligence is that you can't optimize what isn't measured, and you can't optimize what isn't understood. Use Infinity Flow for visualizing processes, connecting KPIs and measures with specific steps of the processes that are measured, and optimize it. When we are talking about this process intelligence, you may be wondering what's the quantifiable added value the knowledge of the process can bring to you. And there are so many use cases that can answer this question, from monthly accounting closure to financial budgeting and planning, or industry-specific use cases like audits or patient flow in healthcare. And I want to show you one of them right now. This one is about support tickets. It's obvious that processing of support tickets is some kind of a process. So how this process visualization can help me save money? The answer is simple. Once I have data about a specific ticket, like in this way, for example, thanks to the Infinity Forms, I can update the data, and during the next reload of the application, the process visualization is updated and I can see where the specific ticket is right now and what was the path that it went through. Once I have this information about all tickets, naturally I can create this general overview about all paths and also about current stages of tickets that are open, or as you can see, there are 2 closed tickets right now. And let's bring the added value in. Thanks to the Qlik associated data model, I can connect this information about specific stages of ticket processing together with penalties I will be facing if these limits are not met. Therefore, if I have all the information about a change log in Qlik data model, I can very simply calculate the real penalty I am facing right now. And what's amazing is that I can do it on a process step level. In one click, I can identify that the bottleneck in my support tickets processing is obviously this validity check, the very second step of the process. And having this information and knowing this will help me optimize the process and avoid many penalties in the future. And that's exactly where the process intelligence can save you money. I am pretty sure you are also interested in some technicalities around Infinity Flow. We have developed Infinity Flow with the very same mantras in our minds as our other products. That means that Infinity Flow truly is Qlik native extension. It looks and behaves exactly like you expect. And it's easy to be used not only for end users, but also for developers. The most important part when it comes to its implementation is to understand that Infinity Flow is data source independent. The definition of the process, these steps and links between them, comes from a data model. Thanks to it, you can load definitions from currently available data sources if you have them stored somewhere in database. You can load them from manual inputs, or you can also use the writebag extension for the process definition, because in the end, all this data will be loaded into a data model. And that's the source of definition for this process visualization, Infinity Flow. When you integrate it together with the Infinity Forms, you can do your own definition of the processes or your own modifications of the process directly in the Qlik Sense application. I'll show it to you in this video. However, you can also use the writebag extension, Infinity Forms, for entering additional data about specific steps in the processes or for chatting with your team members about this object, the process visualization. And I really hope that everyone is still watching the video, because now is the time to show you Infinity Flow. What I have here is a simple application containing few different processes, just for you to be able to think about what can be done with Infinity Flow for beginning. Let me start with, for example, this vacation request. What's important to understand from technical perspective when it comes to the process visualization is that this process is built from two different elements. First technical element is step. What you can see here are few different types of steps, like this start, activity, decision, and some others are supported. You can find the full list in the documentation. So the first element is step. The second element is line. And what you need for the line definition is naturally just the information where the line should start and where the line ends. And that's exactly what we need for defining the process in a data model. Let me open it for you. And in these three tables, we do have this definition of process you have already seen. So as I mentioned, what's important is to define specific steps, some unique identifier of the step, description, node type, and you can also add some more information thanks to the tooltip that supported, node measure, and some other data. When it comes to lines, you just need the information where the line should start, where the line ends, and again, you can use the possibility to use description and tooltip for making its usage as seamless as possible for end users. In this case, this process definition is kind of island in a data model, but naturally you can connect it with the rest of a data model. And how it's technically defined, all important settings and attributes can be found in Properties panel, so you don't need to go anywhere else. The whole definition can be done here in the Qlik Sense application. For nodes definition, I need to say what is the field name where identifier of node is, where I can find node types, descriptions, tooltips, and as you can see, there is also a possibility to add measure, and that's this place inside the node. And you can be creative and use it not only for measures, but for example, in use case of audits or data literacy, you want people to better understand the process, to know responsibilities. So what you want to show them are explanations. It's only up to you how you will implement this process visualization for a specific use case inside a specific Qlik Sense application. Definition of lines is done in a very similar way. So in a properties panel, I need to fill information. What are the fields in a data model where the definition of starting node and ending node currently is? As you may notice, almost all attributes can be defined by expression, and then truly opens a wide range of opportunities for developers how Infinity Flow can be implemented in a specific application in many different ways to meet requirements and bring added value to the end user. Some other non-default parameters you can use can be found also in presentation section. What you can see is that you can use this navigation panel Qlik users already know from map object. It's a small thing, but it truly gives them the feeling, the experience that this is part of Qlik Sense. And some other options can be managed here, like for example, you can switch the orientation. It can be vertical or horizontal, but naturally you need to design it in a proper way according to your use case and how it will be used in the specific sheet. Documentation as well as license management is also located here in the properties panel. So this is the way how we have developed this extension to be easy to be used for developers. When it comes to end users, you can not only see the data, but when you spot something, when you want to drill down into the analytics, you can click on a specific step in a process and everything else will be recalculated. And this is possible only thanks to the fact that the definition comes from a data model and all information about nodes and lines are connected with the rest of a data model. Let me show this feature in another application that's much more about the real-life use case, and that's this support ticket application. What we do have here is the process visualization about the support ticket flow, and Infinity forms the writeback extension for entering and updating the information about the specific tickets. I can select one ticket. And now, as you can see, only specific steps in a process have been highlighted because that's the path this ticket ID went through. And I can update it. And now the current step is we need to send a solution. Thanks to all these expressions you can use when implementing Infinity Flow, you can give users the option to switch between overall view, between current stage view, not only for a specific ticket, but for all of them, because all these data are in a data model, and you can do the magic with it. What's the best part in this application, from my point of view, is the power of Qlik Associative Engine behind it, because you can connect data about tickets, about their flow, about their current stage, together with information about possible penalties you will be facing if these limits aren't met. You can calculate it as a KPI, but thanks to Infinity Flow, you can calculate it on a process step level. And I can see in a second, right after I open this application, where problems in our process are. I can click on it, select it, and see specific tickets that are causing the issue. Knowledge of the process, knowing where the issues, where the bottlenecks are, is the only way how to optimize it, how to avoid it, how to save time and money in the future. As I mentioned in the previous application, definition of process flow was a data island in a data model. Right now, in this use case, it's obviously connected with information about the companies, penalties, and so on. So how this data model looks like here. The definition of the process is in these two tables. Steps, very simple, and lines, even more simple. And these specific steps of the process are connected with the full history of a ticket. So in this table, I have the full changelog with the specific steps where these tickets were in a specific time. And in this data model, I have another table that contains only information about actual stages for all tickets. That's quite simple, don't you think? This app also demonstrates how powerful the combination of the write-back extension, Infinity Forms, together with process visualization, Infinity Flow, can be. And there is one other example about this powerful combination I want to show to you. Let me show you the way how you can use the write-back for modeling the process. This is the pure combination of Infinity Flow and Infinity Forms. It's the way how you can use the write-back extension for modeling the process. Let's say I want to add a new step in my process. I can click on Add Row in this table about nodes, add some activity, and will be activity, another activity, and I can update the data model. Technically, my new node, new step, has been saved into a data storage by this write-back extension. Once I click Update, the Qlik application has been reloaded, so it loaded also this new data from a data storage. And thanks to it, I have a new step here in my process visualization right now. If I want to connect it with the rest of a process, I need to define a new line in a process. And that's exactly why this second Infinity Forms object is here. I'll add a new line from answer to my new activity. And again, during the update of the application, the data model is updated and so my process. You don't need to go anywhere else to visualize the process in your Qlik Sense application. You just need to have the right Qlik Sense application for it. There is one last thing I would like to add to Infinity Flow from technical perspective. When you define processes, there are some expectations or requirements that should be met. One example is that there shouldn't be a dead end. The process should end by the step that is an end. It shouldn't end by another type of step. If you have simple processes like this one, you can spot it without any problem. But if you have more complex processes, like this one, it could be an issue. However, since we know these requirements, these expectations, the front-end extension can check it for you and let you know whether there is something you should be informed about. I just need to click on this Show Warnings and Data integrated in native menu, and new pop-up will be shown to me. In the first section, it informs me about warnings that have been detected. Into other sections, I can find information about the hypercubes that are used for this process visualization, according to current selections. Therefore, I can find here the full list of node data that are used right now on my screen, and about the lines as well. As we do with our portfolio, we have developed Infinity Flow for end users to be invisible in their Qlik environment, and for developers to be native, and with many possibilities how it can be implemented according to what's truly needed in the specific use case, in the specific Qlik Sense application. I really hope you can see the added value of process intelligence right now. You can imagine how it can be brought to your company processes and data analytics. And you know what web page you should open if you want to do it. In case you are looking for an inspiration and you want to try some demos, feel free to go to our demo portal. Many different applications for many different use cases, showcasing capabilities and advantages of Qlik Sense together with different products are right there for you. Infinity Flow, for me, is like shifting from 2 dimensions into 3 dimensions, because that's what the reality is. And bringing this opportunity to understand processes to everyone is nothing less than a revolution. It's my honor and my pleasure, guys, to welcome you in the new world of data analytics with a very important part at it: process intelligence.